Hello everyone, welcome to Macro Haven. In this video, I'm going to use this YC Onion Hamburger SE motorized slider and repurpose it as a macro slider using its time-lapse function. And the subject we're going to look at is going to be this chili. I'm going to cut it and look at the inside. I couldn't get any more interesting subjects because I spent the whole afternoon sleeping, but the main purpose of this video is, of course, this one here. I'm going to show you how you can use this as a macro slider if you haven't got any dedicated macro slider around. First things first, we're going to prep the subject. It's probably best if I avoid touching this and accidentally touching my eye in the process. Okay, something like that. And for the slider, I'm going to attach a video fluid head. For the camera to sit on. Okay, now for the camera. So again, I'll be using the Laowa 25mm f2.8 ultra macro lens, which is capable of 2.5 times to 5 times magnification. Using this camera is more documentary than artistic, I think, when taking images of the subject. For the slider to communicate with the camera, I'm going to use this cable here with the, I think this is a 3.5 millimeter jack, and this is a micro USB which will attach to the camera. This one goes to the slider, and during the time-lapse process, this will tell the camera to take shots between those time-lapse intervals. Okay, and turning on the slider. Oops, I forgot to insert the battery. Okay, now let's turn it on, and we can control the slider using an app. This is the Chocolate SE app. So this is point A and point B. What I'm going to do is, instead of going from the front to the back to capture the subject using focus stacking, what I'm going to do is position the lens just before anything gets in focus of the subject. Then set point A, and then go to the farthest point where I want the sharpest area to be, and then set that as point B. I may need to use this magnetic base and this crocodile clamp to position the subject after all, because the earlier mount that I'm using is too short for the job. Okay, so I positioned it like that. And again, for the lights, I'm going to use this ring LED that is specifically designed for this lens. I can't find it in online stores in Amazon, but in my local store here in my country, it's everywhere. Okay, I'm going to use this converter. Turn on the lights. There we go, and go to the lowest setting. So that's level 1. I'm going to use 2, 3, 4. Level 4. Then I'm turning on the camera and just positioning the subject manually. Okay, we're going to take shots at the default magnification, which is 2.5, and then with the maximum magnification, which is 5 times magnification. So something like 1/100 shutter speed, and the ISO I'm using right now is 400. Or maybe I could go to 200. Something like 320. Okay, I'm going to position the slider just before anything gets in focus, so it's very sensitive, and you can get really micro movements out of this and set it at a very sensitive amounts. Okay, so right there, setting point A, and then go to the farthest area where you want the farthest sharpness to be, something like that, and press B. I'm going to make sure that I'm using f4 aperture, which is the best aperture for the lens for this kind of magnification. Okay, so I'm going to time lapse, and the only caveat with this is that you're stuck with these minimum values. So you're stuck with a minimum of 121 shots. So for some lesser magnification lens, that's going to be overkill. But with this lens, we kind of need like a lot of images just to get everything in focus. So, but with the 2.5 times magnification, this is kind of overkill. With the 5 times magnification, this is good. And the shot increases, so this is the minimum, 121 shots. If we increase the clip length, you can see that we have 265 shots. So I'm going to set it at 5 seconds. So these are the minimum: 24 seconds for the frame rate, clip length 5 seconds, and we have interval between shots 3 seconds. So I'm going to take the shots and set the time lapse to go from point B to A. And all we have to do is wait for the shot to finish. So the time lapse has finished, and it took around 5 to 6 minutes with 121 images taken. And I think I'm going to use the same setting for the 5 times magnification as well. But first, here is the focus stacked images in helical focus. Okay, so for the 5 times magnification, we just need to extend the lens. But first, I'm going to retract the macro slider and just twist the lens to extend it to its farthest point. Now we have to change the settings in order to compensate for the darkening of the image because of the increased magnification. And I'm just about saying the subject right now, so I have to position it before anything gets in focus like that. And then I'll probably set the shutter speed lower, 1/30, just to get more brightness in the image. And then set this as the point A, and then go forwards to set point B. Somewhere around here, point B, and then start the time lapse. Oops. I went into video mode. Okay, cancel. And then set point A. There we go, and then point B. Time lapse. I'm going to use the same settings with 121 images taken and activate the time lapse going from point B to A. Now all we have to do is wait for the time lapse to finish. Okay, so the time lapse has finished with the same time as before, taking 121 images, and here are the 2 images. I've actually taken two stacks just to make sure, and here they are, focus stacked at Helicon Focus and edited in Lightroom. So that's it for this video. If you have any comments on the images and the macro slider, you can put them in the comments below. And if you're interested in any of the equipments you saw in this video, I put the links in the description. Those are affiliate links. Buying through them earns me a small commission without any further cost to you, and ultimately goes to supporting this channel. Again, subscribe, like, comment, and share. Thank you for watching.